Now here's a techie person that carries up her iPad.
No. There were a couple of things as I was praying through what I wanted to say to you, Elaine, and it was just knowing Charlie. I don't know if I would ever have come back to God if it hadn't been for Charlie. And I grew up as a Pentecostal kids, and my mother was the minister, so talk about being laughed at, and then the people in the church, it's kind of like, if that's what Christianity is like, I don't want anything to do with it. And so Charlie came knocking on my door one day, and I was too busy, I had to go skiing, and so it's like, I don't have time for this God stuff. And he said, I'll be back next week. And he was. It's like, okay, somebody that actually keeps their word. And so he talked me into coming to church, but Charlie always had time for all of the questions, and he showed me that God living in you was real. And because I grew up pretty tough and independent, and it was like, I don't need you, but God showed me I need God. And for that, I am forever grateful. But I wanted to talk about some of the fun stuff. And Charlie married us, but, and Eric is right, he came over to give us marital counseling, and it was pretty much grabbing our hands and going, I really like you guys. Okay, Charlie, that's all it's going to take to have a successful marriage. But his, and Rick, maybe I missed it, but my favorite saying of Charlie's was, love God and do what you want to do. Because if you truly love God, everything else will show love. And in those sayings, it was love came out over and over and over again. And I think Charlie was a true reflection of that. I know that he was that to Eric and me. And he was competitive. Eric played ping pong with him every Saturday morning for a long time. And I thought they were going to kill themselves. I had no idea what was going on.
Carolyn was upstairs in bed, and the garage was underneath her. And Charlie would bang his head on the table.
I came running down.
With his hand, and then he'd fall back as hard as he could against the garage door. And so there was so much racket, but we had a good time.
They had a good time. I thought they were, anyway. And then there was the famous dinner where I was trying to remember when I invited you guys over to dinner, and I wanted to impress Charlie. And so I made beef Wellington.
I remember.
And of course Charlie didn't know what it was. And he would have much rather had pork and beans and hamburgers. But
It's so cute.
I don't think I ever did that one again. And then I remember our Christmases where you would come and Charlie would come with his guitar. And his guitar, the song that is the most precious to me is Thank You for Giving to the Lord, because I don't know where I would be without you and Charlie in our lives. I love you.
I love it.
Well, my name's Eric Wallace. I married her. You know, it's interesting what you talked about. It's just like yesterday. You know, that's the wonderful thing. But I did not know Carolyn when I came to Morgan Bible Church originally. But I remember it was probably around the first of 1985, and because the first time I went was Christmas of 1984. So it was a year after you left, Mark. Yeah. And so what I remembered was, and what to this day just amazes me, is how the ministry through music touched my heart. And I look at Sharon Delisle, and I can say the same thing about her, because then again, music just makes such a difference in my life. And I'm doing karaoke today, so I do Frank Sinatra. But, oh my God, you know, we've been hanging out for a lot of years, right? And the reality is that Dennis and Sharon, I didn't realize that you had started, we met you through Morganville Bible Church, but I didn't realize in the beginning, so thank you very much, Mark. But it has just always been such a wonderful thing in my life, and Charlie and Elaine singing together always just ministered to me in such a great fashion. But brought Carolyn and I together, and there was a difference, and there still is in the church a difference, because there's a legacy Charlie has passed on, and solid Bible teaching and applying things to your life every day. It's not old news. And I always remember, and I use this to this day, I love to say, what was it you said earlier about love God and then do anything you want to do? And I always think about Charlie doing that in front of the, up on the podium, because people, they don't understand what he was saying. Well, I can't just do anything I want to do. But that's always stuck with me. And the other thing he said, you know, people use the term miracle too loosely. That's like the party of the Red Sea and rising from the dead stuff. But he said, when you look at life, when you look at the people you meet, all that goes on, the good, the bad, all that occurs in your life, is it coincidence or is it providence? And so it's a providential hand of God in everything. And I truly mean it, Elaine. You don't look any different to me, so you don't age at all as far as I'm concerned. That's my story, I'm sticking to it. But providential hand of God. That's how I met you and Charlie. That's how I met Dennis, and it's just one of those things. And through the years, we've all grown together, and having all these people be here tonight, it's such a blessing, because I just feel family. You can't choose family, but friends. God puts people in your life that make a difference. I look at Bob and Colleen. I've been picking on Bob for 100 years now.
25.
And Roger and I, he's mentally ill like me. So, you know, we found a place we fit in. But I just want to thank you, Elaine, because you have no idea the significance. And I hope we can capture some of that for you. But I'm so glad you're here. Thank you, Dennis, for making this come together. And thank all of you for being here, because I think it's really neat that so many years later we're coming together. And it doesn't seem like much time has gone by, you know, except for Dan Heaps. Thank you.